Hello, Facebook. So I'm Jennifer Hamilton. I'm a Norwex independent consultant, and I'm here tonight to tell you about these microfiber products. I'm going to teach you a little bit about cleaning with mechanical means versus heat or chemically, and I'm going to just show you what you can do with just a cloth and water. And so we're going to start out tonight, and I'm going to show you how this EnviroCloth, which has 10 million feet of fabric, and that's 1,800 miles woven in, has so much surface area that it can mechanically pick up 99.9% of bacteria. And I'm going to use a substance even smaller than bacteria or virus. I'm going to use some raw chicken for this demo. So when you clean chemically, you have to follow the directions. You may need to wear gloves. You need to leave it on for a certain amount of time. When you clean mechanically, it's not killing the bacteria, it's actually physically removing it. And so most of us haven't cleaned this way. We're not used to this sort of way of cleaning. And so it may seem like magic, and I will tell you that these products have been magical for my family. So when we use them, the house gets clean, it gets clean fast, and you have sustainable products. So instead of buying multiple cleaners that you have to use and going from room to room with all these different cleaners and different, rags, you have one cloth, the EnviroCloth, that can do like 100 or more jobs. It can clean everything, okay? And you're gonna see tonight when I clean up the raw chicken that when I swab it, it does not, the protein does not come off of the cloth, and it doesn't transfer to other parts of the surface that you're using. So it's really quite amazing. The other thing that we're going to talk about tonight, so as soon as I get my protein swab, is how to clean up messy glass and mirrors and things like with fingerprints and slobbers, and we're going to do that by demoing with a mirror and some butter. So can't get much messier than some butter and on your glass. So think about like your dog putting their nose on it, or lots of little fingerprints. You're going to find that this is the easiest way you've ever cleaned your glass. So we're again going to use a wet EnviroCloth, and then we're going to polish with a dry window cloth. These guys are best friends, okay? So we're going to do these two demos first, and then I'll talk to you about some other things that you might need. Mainly, if we know what your challenges are, what are you having trouble with in your home, then recommendations can be made for what you might need and what you might benefit from. But I'm going to tell you that these two cloths, you cannot go wrong. If you don't already own these two cloths, I recommend that you make sure that you make that your first purchase. So I'm going to take this raw chicken and I'm going to rub it on this Norwex cutting board. And I'm going to get it nice and messy and juicy. So normally, like if we were to make a chicken mess like this, then we would be really conscious of what it had touched and our hands touching it, and we would want to make sure that we used usually some kind of chemical to kill it or to clean it up. And we would probably be really aware of not wanting to move it around or get it on other surfaces. So I'm going to wet this EnviroCloth right here in front of you with this water. And when you use your EnviroCloth, because you have all of those many miles of surface area woven into this 13 by 13 cloth, what you want to do is you want to get it wet and wring it out. You want it, you don't want it dripping or anything. You just want to wring it out really good, and you want to fold it into fours. So when you do that, then it gives you a flat cleaning surface, and it actually gives you 8 cleaning surfaces. So that's what we're going to use. Now, I made a little water mess. I'll show you how easy that is to clean up, because our cloths hold 7 times their weight in water. It's quite amazing. Okay, so again, so easy. You're just going to see me wipe this up. And again, that's just water on there. And now I'm going to take a protein swab that I'm going to open right here in front of you. And as you can see, when you open it up, it's green because there's no protein inside of the swab. We're going to swab for protein and see if it's, you know, on the surface. So I'm going to take the swab and swab the cutting board really well. And as you can see, it doesn't start to turn purple. If it turns purple, then there's protein present. So we're going to take a look at it. Now I'm going to use this same cloth that we just picked up this chicken. It just picked every bit of that up, just that easy. And I'm going to clean the rest of the board. And we're going to see how green that is. We're going to swab the other half. And that back in there. Maybe go ahead and show you the tip. And it stays green. And then I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to swab my cloth. So, you know, normally when you're cleaning up a mess like this, you're going to use whatever you're using, like a spray or a disinfecting wipe. You're going to clean your whole counter with it. So when you're cleaning your counter with a disinfecting wipe, because it has to stay wet a certain amount of time, what you're actually doing is you're taking what is on the surface and you're smearing it around. And then most of your disinfecting wipes will say it needs to stay wet. You need to use enough wipes for it to stay wet 4 to 10 minutes for it to stop. So for it to kill the bacteria. So there we go. So that microfiber cloth, that EnviroCloth, just picked up protein, picked up chicken, raw chicken from the surface, and it didn't even come off the cloth when we swabbed it. So I want to show you what happens when we swab the chicken, because this is what a protein swab is meant to pick up, okay? So do a little on the end. It actually turns the chicken a little bit purple, but as you can see, it starts to turn purple immediately. And I'm going to put it down in here. And give it a little bit. So it's starting to turn purple and it's going to get really dark purple, okay? Because when it hits protein, it changes color.